Welcome to OU Esports Unraveled. My name is Cooper Marshall, and I'll be your host for today. Today I'm also joined by Drew from the Splatoon 3 team. How you doing today, Drew?
Oh, I'm doing okay.
Awesome. Well, you can just start. Just tell me your first, last name, gamer tag, and what your role is on the Splatoon 3 team.
I'm Drew Marshall, also known as IceDew. On the Splatoon 3 team, I play Slayer primarily, but I flex around roles depending on what my team needs, depending on who can show up to what game and what composition, what mode we're playing. So.
Gotcha. And then you're are you the coach or captain?
I'm the coach.
Oh.
So Ben, I'm the coach of the Crimson team.
Gotcha, yeah.
So Ben does mostly the scout rolling stuff for the team, so he's the captain. I do most of the gameplay and footage review, strategies and whatnot, so.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, if you could just tell me, just how did this is a new game, so tell me how that got started.
It kind of started as a joke between Ben and I. Ben was like, hey, what if we got a Splatoon 3 collegiate team? I'm like, haha, that'd be funny. Then later he gets back to me and says, there is a Splatoon 3 collegiate league. I'm like, oh. So we get together and we put together a tryout. We were expecting nobody to show up. We get 14 people, including you.
Yeah.
But yeah, now we have 2 teams with 6 players each. The B team technically has, 7?
Yeah, it's
6 consistent members.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Awesome. And also, just because it's kind of a new game, if you could just tell our viewers just what exactly is Splatoon?
Oh dear. This is not really something I can explain in such a short sitting. But it is a third-person shooter where you use ink for multiple things. Movement, so if you can paint the ground with your ink, and you can swim in it, which increases your mobility. You can fire it at opponents, and that will cause them to splat if you hit them enough with it, which is essentially the equivalent of a kill. You can use it to claim objectives. Mm-hmm. You can use it to cut off enemies. You can use it to find enemies. And of course the weapon variety, you can shoot, fling, throw, lather, all sorts of things.
Awesome. And you kind of mentioned it a bit at the start, but so can you tell me what kind of weapons you use and what exactly the terms you use at the beginning?
Yes, yeah. So in Splatoon, there's generally a few different terms to identify roles. You can switch roles between matches, even though you're consistently on the same weapon. Weapons can do different roles, they can do different things. So I'm primarily a Slayer. So this is the person who will be on the front lines, trying to go behind the enemies, flank them, get as many kills before you die. Your death is inevitable as a Slayer, because you're going to be put in such awkward situations.
Yeah.
And without Slayers, you're not going to be able to push up because, you're losing the numbers game.
Yeah.
So then there's support players. Support are people who generally focus on charging their specials and just kind of being where the team needs them to be.
Yeah.
And passive ink control. So they're going to be trying to cover as much turf as they can.
Yeah.
To increase mobility and general control of the map.
Mm-hmm.
So I also play a little bit of support. I play H3, which is a semi-auto weapon. My sub is a point sensor, so I can locate the entire team by throwing down different subs. And then there's midline players, which can fall under support pretty frequently.
Yeah.
So support players can be frontline or midline. So midline is generally going to be your mid-range weapons. They're going to be behind your Slayers and your other frontliners, but in front of your backliners. So your backliners are going to be your longest range weapons. They're going to be your main point of defense and your anchors.
Yeah.
They're going to be the first person to start engaging, and they're going to be the last person standing.
Nice.
So whenever your team dies, they're going to be the person that they're going to be jumped to.
Yeah.
So as a backliner, I play ballpoint on backliner. I want to focus on surviving and defending my team, and also anchoring my objective.
Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, so it's a very, very versatile game then.
Generally, yes.
Yeah. Awesome.
There's never a moment of downtime. The most downtime you'll have consecutively is maybe about 10 seconds.
Yeah, because this is one of the fastest esports I've watched.
Yes, I don't think I've ever played a shooter that's faster than Splatoon.
Yeah, because you guys played last night in person for like together for the first time.
Yeah. It was an interesting experience. OSU doesn't actually have a team. They just kind of brought a few people over who played Splatoon.
Mm-hmm.
So it was generally a pretty casual game.
Yeah.
So we just kind of played for fun and whatnot. It was enjoyable.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then what league do you guys play in?
Yeah, we play in the CCA, the Collegiate Cephalopod Association.
Mm-hmm.
We are currently undefeated in our division, so...
Nice. Congratulations, yeah.
Yeah.
What, do you know when the finals are going to be for that?
So our final game is actually tomorrow, and then we have a week of downtime, where people who weren't able to get their matches previously in will get their final matches played next week. We'll have all of our matches played by then. Then the week after that, we'll go into the finals.
Awesome.
So...
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, also I forgot to ask with Splat, because this is Splatoon 3 is the game specifically you guys are playing.
Yes.
Can you tell me a bit about what has changed over the course of the previous entries?
So over the previous entries, it's just really just kind of, it's whenever a new COD game comes out, it's new kind of fundamentals and whatnot, new maps, new weapons, but the same core mechanics of the game are still there. In Splatoon 3, I think this is probably the most refined entry of the series, especially with it being the latest entry. There's just new movement tech, new weapons, new maps, new metas, new modes, or well, not competitive modes, but refinement of just generally what's there.
Yeah. And then also, how did you get into Splatoon? What's your history there?
Well, I've always been just like a huge Nintendo buff. So back on the Wii U, like 7 years ago. What is it?
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I think it might have been more than that. But yeah.
So whenever the first Splatoon game came out, I was little. I was like 12. I was playing Splatoon on the Wii U. I never really got into competitive Splatoon until Splatoon 3, actually. But Splatoon 1 came out 7 years ago. 2 years later, Splatoon 2 came out. That game was so much fun for me. I never really got super into the competitive scene. I was just kind of grinding out solo queue because I never really had anybody to play with outside of, like, I don't know, you. And the multiplayer wasn't very great on it either.
Yeah.
And then Splatoon 3 came out. I'm like, okay, 5 years later, I'm like, okay, I want to get into the competitive scene. I've played fighting games competitively. I have really gotten into esports lately. Splatoon 3 is a great opportunity for me to really hone my skill and focus on what I really enjoy about that game.
Awesome. And then I know, just because I know you do a lot of, you said fighting games, just kind of a off topic subject. What kind of fighting games do you play?
Right, yeah. I play a little bit of Smash. I'm technically unofficially on the B team for OU, but I mainly focus on Guilty Gear Strive. I hope I can get a scene set up for it, but I want to get more FGC locals set up here at OU, but it may take time whenever we can actually get a venue here at OU to really get that going off the ground.
Awesome. I think that's all the time we have for today. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up here?
No, not really. I'm really excited to get this team going off the ground. Looking forward to a successful next few years.
Yeah,
so.
Me too. I'm excited to see where you guys will go.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us, and thank you to all our viewers watching, and thank you for watching Sooner Esports Unraveled.